Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
Hey everybody, games are expensive, so today we're gonna be doing some consumer advocacy over here pertaining to Naughty Dog's upcoming sci-fi game, Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet, or wherever it's called. And it is coming thanks to David Jaffe. Usually I start my videos by giving you guys a bit of context as to what's going on. Some people like it, others don't due to taking me longer to get to the point, so the best I can do is give you timestamps so you can decide whether to skip it or not, while promising you that all context information will be down to crucial need-to-know bases, so that none of your time is wasted. But it kinda screws me over on this video because David Jaffe was once upon a time one of the chads responsible for creating the original God of War. But nowadays he's just become a bit of a lol cow in online spaces with really bad takes that we just don't have time to go over. To keep this on the need-to-know basis, here are two of his recent favorite games. No, I'm not joking, and no, I didn't make an editing mistake, okay? These are it, and he blames you guys and online grifters for these games failing. No, it's not because they were written for a kindergarten audience. No, it's not because they're uninspired tame adventure games, one of which doesn't have the depth necessary to be called an RPG, and the other one without the depth necessary to be called a stealth game. And certainly not because one of them released downright broken at a $70 price tag, and the other one spat on the franchise that it came from. It's really just because you guys are toxic. This more or less explains David Jaffe's state in current day, but I'm also screwed when it comes to Intergalactic because I've been kind of lazy on covering what's been going on with that game, and there's been a few extra news and worrisome things happening in relation to it that I didn't get to and that are going to be important here, so let's get them out of the way quickly. Last year I talked about the weird thing where Neil Druckmann was boot camping the actress, basically coaching her on how to handle online hate. That was this video. We also went over how discouraging this was because it shows that Neil isn't trying to make a game he knows people will widely enjoy. He's just once again letting his ego get in the way of his responsibility to the studio and his fellow developers. Due to just deliberately making bad decisions that he knows will be disliked. This is a weird direct quote of his towards the actress during the boot camping. Ignore it, no matter what, me and you, we're gonna make something beautiful. We're gonna make something that we're proud of. On its own, this is already a weird, obsessive thing to say, like who talks like that, dude? You're making video games. Neil Druckmann has such a massive ego that he thinks he's some kind of visionary, who's making things that transcend the art form. But he hasn't done that a single time, and actually it's the opposite. With each new release, it's like he's getting worse. And considering more things that have been revealed about what's going on inside of Naughty Dog, it just makes the situation even uglier. Intergalactic is Naughty Dog's most expensive game to date. There's a fat stack of money at stake here, and the developers have been put on mandatory crunch since last year in October because they need to finish a demo for Sony, and it's really only going to get worse as the projected release date of mid-2027 draws near. Naughty Dog has always had a demonic crunch culture, and despite promising that that would stop after they got exposed for it, it just seems to be ramping back up again. On top of that, let's not forget that Sony is struggling. Their investments into live service have fallen flat. They cancelled several projects already, closed down the Concord studio, and just a few days ago, they also closed down Bluepoint, who were actually a solid studio that were mostly handling remasters and remakes. They can't afford more flops and underperforming games, and in the meantime we got Neil Druckmann over here knowingly making executive decisions that go against what people want to spend their money on while taking no feedback. Instead, he gaslights actors into ignoring the inevitable waves of memes and criticism that they're going to get because of his selfish decisions of wanting to serve his ego first, even if the same layoffs that are sweeping across the games industry in the tens of thousands hit his studio. After all, who cares? As long as he's still on top and being given money to make his Hollywood wannabe bullshit stories, he's happy. And so with that speedy context out of the way, let's get to what happened. Every now and then, someone pops up on social media and brings up the main character and the unconventional design that she was given as an ambiguous-looking bald girl with an annoying attitude. I already covered this before, so in the interest of time, we're gonna skip that for now, but we may bring it up a bit later. The post is featuring an edited version of that, making the character look better with a caption saying, "Naughty Dog still has time to avoid the biggest failure in the studio's history with Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet." Our boy David Jaffe over here saw it and decided to give his 2 cents on the matter. And man, thank God he did, because it is beyond cringe and it requires a reality check. Let me read it first though. "I like sexy women. I like sexy women in my media. I do. And the edit version is a sexy woman. In my opinion, of course."
Listen, I chose straight sex.
"And the in-game version is not. And what, you're gonna pass up a new IP by one of the very best to make this sort of game because you don't wanna f the avatar? Goodness, humanity is doomed."
With all due respect, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, here's something you have to understand about David Jaffe in case you don't yet. This man is a madman, okay fellas? He's a mad lad, and he often gets himself into very awkward positions. Most of the times you'll find him defending games like Veilguard and certain politics and games types such as Alyssa Mercante. In fact, he's one of her #1 simps. By all means, the activism going on in the games industry, he's in with it. But sometimes he gets these brain farts and gets himself into hot water with the same woke type of crowd that he tends to pander to. Here he is, for example, declaring his vibrant, red-hot love for Alyssa.
"I don't want to do it, but I learned about it."
You were talking to someone who, 2 days into my first job in the games industry, got drunk with a bunch of people at the outlet and told them that I wanted Henry Cavill to hold my head in between his thighs like a vice and shave me bald. Told them that I wanted Henry Cavill to hold my head in between his thighs like a vice and shave me bald. And I would say, "Thank you, Daddy." And
Yeah,
that
that's
shit
different.
doesn't bother me.
If it was consensual and you didn't hate the Jews, I'd fuck the shit out of you. I would.
People are gonna clip that. You know that I don't.
Clip it.
Dude, I don't even know if I can leave that in my video without getting the +18 flag. God damn it, David, you sick, depraved old man. Oh my. Anyway, he also recently made an off-color joke about a dude who lost his father and posted a tribute to him online with 2 Xbox controllers placed on his grave, prompting Jaffe to, I don't know, get another brain fart and do the "this is an Xbox" meme. When he got called out, he crashed out, doubled down, and then made a video backtracking and trying to justify it. One of his arguments was that his parents are dead, so hey, stop being a pussy. Oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna. Okay, we need to get to the point to the point of the video. Otherwise, what even is this video? Comedy? Consumer advocacy? I don't even know. Why this context? Well, because this post is probably not going to age well with his cohorts either, since he's admitting that Intergalactic's character doesn't look good, and the edit is better. That's why he's such an entertaining, lol cowish character. He's a bumbling jester, always managing to fumble his shots no matter the message. And man, was that a dumb message. It's utterly out of touch, it's totally misrepresentative of its own argument, let alone actual valid reasons to avoid the game. And it's also just frankly pathetic. I have more to say on this matter, but let's spread it out throughout the rest of the video. So, no. People don't have to pass on this new IP by Naughty Dog because of some superficial, delusional shit that David Jaffe hallucinated in his basement. But here are 3 valid reasons for people to pass on Intergalactic Heretic Hairline. Let's jump in. This post really had nothing to do with sexualization. I don't even understand where David Jaffe got that from. This is what I meant with the hallucinating things in this basement line. Look at the picture again. It's two side-by-side images of the character's face. Same expression and everything. Nothing at all showing a body. So, like, what are you smoking, big dog? What are you seeing that we cannot? He wanted so desperately to do the usual brain-dead take where he, and people like him, totally disregard the concept of good and appealing character designs or character concepts and just muddy the waters, turning the whole discourse into sexualization, even when often it has nothing to do with that. Just taking these matters and turning them into just bullshit about incels who won't play a video game because the character isn't hot enough. Isn't it funny how this is always directed at dudes, by the way? Under any other circumstances, guys like David Jaffe or the soy-packed activist that he likes to interview on his channel will tell you that men are not the majority in gaming anymore. They'll tell you that those days are over. There's a whole world out there of diverse people and the industry has changed. So appealing to men is outdated and unnecessary. Hell, it's downright bigoted even, because it goes against representation and inclusivity. But as soon as we're talking about this topic or these big major games that have hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, suddenly men are vital. Suddenly men are composing a game's entire potential user base, enough to make or break it. And if the game flops, it's the men's fault for not playing because, oh, the character wasn't hot enough. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of female gamers out there who are getting sick and tired of the same trend going on in gaming where characters that are meant to represent or inspire them end up getting subverted into looking either bland or straight up like crap. Because anything at all with a striking design is considered harmful to body, beauty, and femininity standards. It's all so tiring. If you're new to these topics, basically the way that it works is, if a female character is made to look fit, beautiful, and at least moderately shapely or curvy, it's bad because of crap like this, that aims to subvert what beauty and femininity is meant to look like. That's from an Epic Games and Dove campaign, but I have more, and it's usually more present in this pesky little eye-rolling way. Like for example, this just happened. This is the character from that 1348 X Voto game with the medieval LGBTQ+ knights. Her name is Aeta, she's a girl and is the protagonist. We all know this character looks off. We all know this isn't meant to be appealing in a way that female characters were usually made to look beautiful over time. We all know this is unconventional on purpose. But then you gotta hear actresses saying shit like this about them.
What I will say about Aeta's bowl cut is, I think it's quite hot and historically accurate. Historically accurate. So back off, haters. Haters of the bowl cut.
Hot? Like, why are you lying? First of all, you shouldn't even find her hot because she looks like a 13-year-old boy.
You young boys, Valdez. Are you a madman?
But hot? This is why I can't stand these fake industry people. They just can't have honest dialogues. It's just the program is always running. But it's Jennifer English. She voiced the characters in the video game of the... Who cares? And that's David Jaffe, one of the creators of God of War. Doesn't mean that he can't be retarded sometimes. I can keep going if you want. You know, you remember Todd Howard? I used to love hearing Todd Howard talk. Then he started f***ing up. And now I don't want to see him promoting his games anymore. Anyway, the point is this blatant subversion of what people are supposed to find appealing, cool, heroic, etc. Remember the recent drama with Overwatch as well, the actress saying that the character shouldn't look striking the way that it is right now because Overwatch is meant to challenge the standards of what it's like to be a hero, or of what it's like to look like a hero.
There was a precedent set by it. There was a unspoken promise that said, we're going to challenge the beauty standards plaguing and ransacking media these days, right? The Ozempic chic, the contour your nose, you have no nose, the tiniest nose. Overwatch is a trailblazer at challenging that, right? Of trying to break those molds, of trying to explore the bounds of what it means to be good what it looks like to be heroic.
Shut up, woman!
Anyway, the same kind of thing has also hit male characters, but instead it's geared towards subverting masculinity, visually and in terms of personality traits too, basically what defines it. But anyway, back to Intergalactic Alcoholics Anonymous. This is definitionally an agenda, and it's not even a secret one. Like, some people like to get mad whenever the word agenda is brought up, like, oh no, look, it's a conspiracy grifter, oh, but it's really a normal thing in the industry. There are entire departments and studios that exist for this sole purpose, to move some of these social agendas. And this one in particular is usually labeled as challenging societal standards. And so why would I want to spend a hard-earned $70 on a game that is purposefully deviating a character's design to look weird and unconventional because of wanting to push that same agenda against beauty standards? The truth is, you guys could argue that the character looking off doesn't automatically mean that it's for that purpose. But the thing is, it's not the first time. It happened in The Last of Us 2, then the remake of The Last of Us 1 happened, and they made Tess, who used to be this badass biker chick type of woman that worked with Joel, look like shit too for no good reason. In the original game, she looks like a woman with a rough exterior, yes, but she had a pretty face. She was a good looking woman. In the remake, they make her look like she aged 30 extra years for no reason. Same thing was even done in the HBO show, which Neil Druckmann had significant control over as the co-creator, co-showrunner, writer, and executive producer. They made her even older on the damn show. I mean, holy shit, if the PlayStation 6 gets another remake for these games, they're gonna make her look like Skeletor or some shit. You may as well replace her character model with a tombstone. Here lies Tess, born in 1458 and passed away in 2022. Fantastic. Then you can also go ahead and put other things together that Neil Druckmann does, and that makes it very clear that he's one of those types who likes to dabble in ideological bullshit in his games. He makes it very clear that we're not the intended audience for his games. He prefers to pander and build his garbage for the modern audience. And even if the modern audience doesn't show up, he doesn't care, because the number one person that Neil Druckmann makes games for is Neil Druckmann. The number two person is weird Hollywood executives that he wants to impress with his nonsense. This is likely the man with the most insane ego in the games industry. I know there's dudes out there who got it too, like Hideki Kamiya, for example, the creator of Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, director of Resident Evil 2, etc. But shit, he earned it at least. These are franchises that would belong on some gaming Mount Rushmore of sorts, but Druckmann? As soon as Bruce Straley left Naughty Dog, their games took an instant dip, demonstrating that Druckmann has far more of an ego than creative chops or good ideas. So, number one reason to pass? That's it right there. Neil is deliberately making unpopular, dumbass decisions to pander to or straight up push cringy agendas that I just do not believe belong in gaming. I don't want to play them, they are not of interest to me, and it's not just even me who feels this way. It's the majority, and if this wasn't true, then all games participating in the same bullshit would be successful, but instead, 99% of them are failing or underperforming. Reason number two is very simple and honestly very short. It picks up from the first one, which is why that segment was so long. Developers have the right to pursue whatever the hell they want to pursue and put it in their games. They always have. Some activists would have you believe that this is not true, and gaming has been this awful, oppressive place where certain ideas never flourished or whatever because they were kept down. This is for two major factors. Number one, those ideas were very rare before the spread of this brain-rotted ideology, so there were less morons hired in studios to suggest them in the first place. Also, culture was different. Like, people weren't this obsessed with identity politics to lose their mind over an attractive female character. And number two, the ideas were just wildly unpopular, so it was outright retarded to implement them. They were guaranteed money dumpsters, and executives weren't just stupid. It's as simple as that. Like, take this for example. Nowadays, if a new Bayonetta was getting made, like a brand new IP, pretend Bayonetta doesn't exist, and some guy just shows up at the meeting room and he throws the idea of this super attractive witch whose outfit is made of her own magical hair or some shit, and she fights demons and does sexy poses while occasionally dropping innuendo. there would be a guaranteed crash out from one of the many HR or ethics or diversity departments in the company. It would be like a mini apocalypse event at the studio for these people. And that idea would either get radically changed into something else completely or just fully thrown out, which would basically be the exact same result. And why is that? Because the games industry has fallen, particularly the top AAA studios out there. Games used to be made for nothing other than fun. That was it. People just wanted to make fun, good games. That was the mentality behind it. Make a great game that you want to play, put it on the market, and make money. And now many of these studios and companies in AAA prioritize things like social impact and corporate activism instead of that fun. They prioritize things like ESG instead of appealing to their fanbase. Top AAA studios out there decided to fill themselves up with activists in completely useless social-political departments that exist solely to screw up games with poor ideas that nobody wants. Calling it ideas is even stupid, it's more like limitations. Limitations that have gone on to completely corrupt the industry. Edge doesn't exist in it anymore. The rebellious attitude of the 90s and early 2000s is completely gone, and even the environment of compromise that existed throughout the 2010s has been mostly overtaken by a culture of hazardous soy. Compromise was the stupidest thing these companies ever did because it was just never enough for these activists. I mean, it never is. That's why they're activists. If you hit your social-political targets for the year of 2016, what's going to happen in 2017? You think they're going to stop? Hey, we did it, guys. We did it. Hey, the games industry is progressive now. We can leave. No, they're just going to keep upping the ante. It's their job. It's what gets them paid at the end of the month. Like, do you genuinely believe that back when Hideki Kamiya presented the ideas for Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, they had any dumbass Karens speaking out about it? Hell, let's even say that they did. Let's say that they had a couple of executives clutching their pearls like, oh my goodness gracious, no, I don't think this is very smart. Do you think he cared? Of course not, because the games industry was free and based. Now it's weak, and it deliberately goes after unpopular ideas from lobotomites and then implement those ideas because they want to be inclusive on their way to f***ing bankruptcy. They literally listen to people who don't play games and make decisions to appeal to them while leaving you, who actually loves the damn hobby, in the dust. And so here's my point. Developers are free to keep doing these utterly idiotic decisions, but they're not entitled to my money. I will not play into their delusions, especially at AAA level, that these are good ideas to pursue in video games. Neil Druckmann may be able to bullshit his bosses at Sony into giving him hundreds of millions of dollars as he keeps making content that devalues the legacy that Naughty Dog has built far before he even joined them, but he can't do it with me. I just have no reason or motivation whatsoever to support games at launch that represent this broken and irresponsible culture, even if some parts of them are good, which I'll get to in a second. It's just a tiresome trend, it's boring, it's unappealing, and it has totally overstayed its welcome. Developers like Neil have done nothing to moderate their use. It makes games deliberately worse and condemns innocent developers to waves of mass layoffs. Oh, I know some developers are part of this culture too, and they 100% deserve it, but make no mistake, there's loads of innocent developers out there being swept in the same mass layoff waves. And at the same time, another consequence is projects I'd have loved to see getting cancelled because of it too. Why did Bluepoint get shut down by Sony? They didn't make any flops for them. Now we can kiss any hopes of actually good remasters from old PlayStation catalogs goodbye. It's an example of collateral damage. A butterfly flaps its wings, a group of clueless developers possessed by toxic positivity make Concord. It results in a mass-scale flop with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of loss, and now Sony is scrambling and Bluepoint gets the boot because of their boss's incompetence. And finally, reason number 3, and the simplest one of them all. Because what the hell am I missing anyway? Now really think about it. We have no reason to miss this game at all. Naughty Dog has already disappointed me before. Why would I be giving them $70 for something that I already know off the get-go is being made to not be at its best? Neil Dumbman makes it a point to make unattractive decisions for his games. Why would I pay full price for something like that? Like, at the fullest extent of my good faith tolerance, let's say Intergalactic Space Baldcap has actually great gameplay, and it's only the character design and some of the writing and story that I will not like. After all, that's almost a guarantee. We know what happened with The Last of Us 2. Why would I be spending $70 on it if there's going to be a but in there? And I don't mean butt as in ass, fellas. I mean a butt as in, oh man, the combat is really good, but the protagonist is so insufferable it's giving me irritable bowel syndrome. At most, that's like $20, $30 sale territory for me, and that's me. Some people it's $0 territory, and you wanna know why? Here's why. Because in truth, making assumptions about the gameplay in itself is useless. Naughty Dog's game design peaked around 2016. Everything they have done since then has been an iteration of that same thing, and I do understand that it does have a lot of work put into it. The brutality and animation mastery of the combat in The Last of Us 2, for example, was deep. Like, there's no doubt that Naughty Dog has refined this style of gameplay, and usually it's not an issue if a studio dedicates itself to something that they tend to do best, like FromSoft. But so many other studios have gone on to copy or inspire themselves in it that it's gotten stale. It's overly simplistic, and it's a style of game that heavily relies on the story and characters being likable. It's something that Naughty Dog also relied on. When we went on adventures in Uncharted, we cared about Nathan Drake and we cared about the story. Same thing with the original The Last of Us game. But now I have zero faith in it because Neil Druckmann is a Hollywood wannabe hack, and I already can't stand the actress's post on social media. Like, they made this whole song and dance about her needing training for Backlash. My brother, no training is needed, just tell her to stop posting shit like this. This was from December of 2024, shortly after the announcement. Antagonizing your customer base is a really stupid idea. This isn't like Hollywood or Disney anymore, okay? You're not at the Golden Globes with your elite friends anymore. That's all the training she needed, really, just a reminder that she's in the real shit now. Number 1, you're rolling in the mud with people online. If you can't handle your little dress getting dirty, don't jump in. And number 2, this isn't like a little TV show or little movie, okay? These are $100 million projects. Games are expensive to make. We don't have any goddamn space over here to be antagonizing the audience, alright? You're not in little La La Land anymore with your Hollywood friends, talking shit to Access Media microphones, you know, like Variety. This is a whole other planet you're on, sweetheart. You can't be out here thinking, whatever, what's a few less million viewers? Pfft, doesn't really matter. As long as the studio gets back the money that it made producing this piece of shit, it's fine. Like, no. In the games industry, you need that money. You need those millions of players, or you're cooked. Each user isn't worth like $15 worth a movie ticket or a $7 subscription. They're worth $70. But anyway, guys, let's move on, because the worst part is that I'm not even done yet. I'm going deeper as to how little this matters and how this industry has you by the balls, constantly trying to make you feel like you're missing out if you're not playing the latest big name $70 plus game. There's hundreds of games coming out month after month, some of which are fantastic and could surprise you, no matter what niche you're into or no matter what tastes you have. I made this video recently on an indie FPS game with a strong focus on atmosphere and narrative that blew me away for just $5. $5, and it gave me more to think about than games coming out at full price sometimes, some of which I struggle to even finish to make a review on the damn channel. It's this video on screen right now. I'll share the link in the top comment and the description if you guys want to check it out. There's this worship culture surrounding some AAA studios that make no sense, and once you crack through that illusion, there's no going back. Some of these studios have broken those illusions already all on their own by releasing games that range from mid to god-awful, and that were not worthy of their namesake, like Rocksteady with Soy Squad, showing Arkham fans that the studio that made that trilogy is long gone. Or BioWare with Dragon Age Veilguard, showing fans that most of the people who created those previous games are either working somewhere else or have totally lost their touch. And Obsidian with Avowed and Outer Worlds 2, showing people who were still looking at them and begging for Fallout New Vegas 2 that they may as well ask for Fallout 77 at this point, because that level of complexity and storytelling that used to exist at Obsidian is just not there anymore either. There have been game releases that prove that there's just no reason to worship these companies over past masterpieces. Most developers that made those games are gone, their studio cultures have changed, and the same kind of ideology that makes developers think things like, instead of the best character design that I can come up with the most likable personality that I can write, I'm just going to fuck it up on purpose to challenge the evil, bad, problematic norms of society. This kind of thing has slowly taken hold of their studios and manifests in various forms, whether it be design, writing, storylines, themes, or even just community management. It's not to say that these studios can't make good games sometimes, man, of course they can. But you gotta take it a day at a time, or not a day at a time, take it a release at a time. This idea that this guy is putting out here of like, oh my god, you're going to pass up on this new IP from this incredible studio? It's ridiculous, it's laughable, it's out of touch tourist shit, and it's something that these companies have been relying on to swindle players from far better experiences that they would find if they just went looking instead of defaulting to these giants that are losing their touch, their edge, their creativity. There's just no reason to not be smarter with your money. It's not even exploring games from smaller or independent studios. It's also the vast ocean of fantastic older games that you can buy and play right now at cheaper prices. I know it's a bit harder on console, like that's a massive advantage of the PC with Steam, but even on console, that's why I have videos advocating for physical media to be something worth fighting for, because you can find far cheaper copies of games from last gen on physical stores than on digital marketplaces, plus you have access to secondhand markets as well. And it really is an ocean. There's loads of gold out there to be discovered for the first time or to just replay. Like a game from your past. I recently replayed through the original Mirror's Edge. I had the time of my life, dude. It was like being back in 2011 or 2012 or whatever when I first played it. Wanna know how much I paid? $2.99, fellas. I haven't bought a single game from 2026 yet, and I frankly don't even miss them. I know Neo 3 just came out a week or two ago, and I'm sure it's a solid game, as they usually do great work over there. But the price was crazy, $80. I just skipped it. I'll wait for a price drop, it's no big deal. Some people act like if you don't buy a game on day one, you're missing out on it, like, oh, what are we gonna do? Like, nah, dude, listen. If you're really excited for something, you go for it. I'm personally eyeing Crimson Desert and Control Resonant. Those might be two 2026 games that I actually get at launch, besides any shit that I may get because of content, of course. But otherwise, just wait. It really is no big deal, and if it's something that has bad content in it, guys, just ditch it. Respect your own time and play something worthy of it. And those are the reasons to pass on this game at launch. Banging cartoon characters got nothing to do with it, man. It's even weird that he brought it up. What the fuck? No reason to support any of this kind of crap whatsoever, especially when there's a wide world of great games to play out there. Some people like to say gaming is dead. Make no mistake, when they're saying it specifically in relation to these big companies and where they're headed with tens of thousands of layoffs as a consequence of this virus plus other bad decision making we already had to deal with over a decade ago, such as monetization and the shift to live service nonsense, they're right. But as a whole, no. There's still a lot of good stuff out there, even if it's stuff from a better time or stuff that is a bit hard to find, but hopefully that's where channels like this one will come in handy at. Fighting the good fight, roasting the garbage, helping you guys find gems, rediscover forgotten names, and reignite old passions. So, you know, don't forget to subscribe now. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your top 3 reasons not to buy Intergalactic Space Cringe. Funniest comments will feature in the next video, and that's it. I'll see you then. Take care.